Hello, Addie. How are you doing tonight?
Hello. Good.
It's great to see you. And just to make sure we are on the same page, do I have your permission to record this demo and make it available to others?
Yes, you have my permission to record this demo and to share for educational purposes.
Thank you. Thanks so much. How's everything with you?
Good. Mostly the reason why I asked for this coaching session is also because in my career I'm stepping from a middle leader level to a leading level. And as much as this can sound very like a milestone, that was the reason why I started this this job that I'm doing 3 years ago, is quite scary because I can see that there are some points that they it feels like that leadership role cannot be done. It was easy to get because I am a well-being and an inclusion specialist. And it's easy when you are just specialist. It's difficult when it's the leading role that is proposed to you, because somehow I find myself doing role and being expected to do roles that they don't really fit in the description of what I actually do.
Yeah. Well, first of all, congratulations. Congratulations on getting the promotion. I'm hearing that it does come with some challenges, but I'm also hearing it's a step forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think that the challenges come because I somehow find constantly myself unable to verbalize, or to, I think that I verbalize, but somehow the message doesn't pass through the people that I have around, that this thing that you are asking me, it doesn't fall into the category of well-being. It falls under the category of coaching, and I am not a coach. So that is so far the challenge that I'm having, especially because when they see always when they see the title is well-being lead or well-being and inclusion lead, it feels like you're going to lead them somewhere. So my struggle now is how to verbalize that to because mostly I will work with students, with colleagues that they are teachers in international schools, and with principals. So how to verbalize to them that my only job here is to tell you what are the signs of burnout, what you should do to take care of your well-being, but not to coach you into a better life, because that's not my job.
Right. Yeah, I'm hearing you. Sounds like there is some miscommunication, right? And the idea that I'm getting after listening to you is that you are trying to explain what your job entails and what you are there to do. But it sounds like maybe you are getting misinterpreted a bit, or the message doesn't quite land the way you want it to land. Is this what's happening?
It does feel like that, because while I want to sit and create different programs to promote well-being, I end up sitting there and maybe listening to people for hours.
Okay.
Which again is something, and that's I think that that's the part that it confused everything, because this is something that I genuinely like.
Right.
I do like to listen to people. I do like when they share. I do like to give opinions, but I know that those come into a friendly level, not into a professional level.
Okay. So sounds like you want a kind of a separation between these, right? So could you tell me, what does your ideal situation look like? So if everything turns out as you wanted, what would be happening in your workplace?
So if everything will be in the way that I like it, in my workplace, a normal day, it will look pretty much like this. Having 1 hour in the morning when I set up all the email communication and all the materials that they are on my computer without being interrupted, continuing with putting in order 2 or 3 projects that will promote well-being in school for those 3 categories that I mentioned, one for the students, one for staff, and one for principals, and having daily activities to make those projects work through the academical year. And in general, in those projects is always a group of people that is included, not individual talks. So that would be the perfect situation when I have the group of activities with a group of people, and I'm able to go through those without being interrupted because something came in the between, or maybe because someone is having an emergency situation and they need to sit and talk individually by taking half of my day. And again, uh, I am aware of the fact that people do that because I like that, and because in the first years, 2 years of my position, I allowed and I required that. I opened the door for people to say, "You look today a little bit off. You want to come and have a talk or have a tea?" So it became like that because I was very eager to know my colleagues and to know the whole school and to know all their needs and what they would wanted me to bring. So after a while, I will create those projects. But this year, for example, when I had the Mindful March, that I had a month full of activities daily, I was not able to go through the activities because I would be bombarded with these emergency situations that they will come and say, "Can I have a tea? Because I'm not feeling good today."
Yeah, I understand. Well, sounds like it backfired, right? What was helpful before, now it's backfired. And what kind of change do you expect in communication with other people? Or, now you described what your ideal day or what your ideal routine might look like. And in terms of communicating with others or how you're perceived by others, what do you want to change?
I want to change in a gentle way, because it's also a very tricky situation when you close the door for those individual talks, because that space there, and me like an individual, I'm supposed to be like a point of trust for everybody. If I close those doors because I want to have a group activity instead of one-on-one talks, it will break the trust. So I want to find a way to let them know that even if we are not having this long 1 hour talk together, I am doing other changes in the whole institution, so that you don't feel overwhelmed. Because most of the time, They feel overwhelmed because there are things in a workplace that they are not in place. And that's where my projects are going to. I want to fix the reason that is making you so stressed, but I need to
Yeah.
leave you a little bit alone because I'm fixing this right now.
Right. Okay. So, and if I'm hearing you correctly, this is what you want from our conversation today, right? So, sounds like by the end of our conversation, you want to have a way to let people know that now, with your role change, certain changes will take place in the way you interact or in the structure of your interactions. However, the changes are still going to be beneficial for them and you are not just closing your door. Is that what you want?
Yes, if it would be a way, a guide how to approach to this kind of, I don't think that I have those communication skills. I have the
Uh-huh.
skill to make people come in, but not to push them away. In
All
the good
right.
sense, not push them away, not to listen, but putting some
No.
boundaries, because um, it becomes, I'm failing. This semester I failed a lot of my projects, and I did show very poor leadership skills in those projects, because it took 80% of the time. It took this part that was not supposed to be taken, and the projects were not led properly.
Yeah, so sounds like this does need to change now. So you're saying these words, you want a way or a guide. So what will show you by the end of our conversation that you have this way or a guide? So what does that have to be? How are we going to measure that?
Well, I guess I will try it. There's this method of communicating, um, and see how it goes. Because I believe that communication is a skill, and different type of communication tools can be used in different situations. In this one, it feels like it's um, uh, a situation that is spiral itself, um, and the only person who made this thing spiral into this um, kind of way is just me. I just want to show that to find a way of communicating that I am here for you. I am just a little bit different now. I am here for you in the sense not to sit and to be a friend and listen, but take some time and change a policy that is causing you this kind of issue that you have.
Yeah.
So you don't have this issue.
I'm getting really curious now, Adi, because when you are saying you want a method, a guide, or a way, I start thinking, is that about the message? Is that about some specific messages or words you want to communicate? But now I'm listening to you, and it sounds to me that you already have kind of message that you want to communicate. So I'm super curious what's missing to communicate this message.
Because I think that the way how I think that I'm gonna approach to that is gonna be wrong. It's gonna have the opposite effect. If I tell to them we cannot spend 1 hour together just talking because I'm taking care of something that is in the macro instead of the micro part, I will lose their trust. And then once the people that you have around lose the trust that you are actually working for their well-being, whatever you implement, you will not going to have their support anymore, because it doesn't really matter if I have a well-being week, if I have a whole staff and students that they don't want to participate in any of the activities. because those activities are for them. So my fear is that if I communicate it in this way, it's gonna bite me back in a long term.
So what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you want to find in our conversation, or by the end of our conversation, you want to find some right words to communicate your message without breaking trust. Does this
Yes.
sound right?
Yes.
Right. And why is that so important to you to communicate in a special way and keep the trust?
Because I realized that my job is not only a job for me, first of all, is something that I do because I love it. If I will not love this kind of job, for sure, I would not be trying to do it in a proper way. I could have just done in a way, oh, I got a promotion, now my duties changed, you are not welcome, you are not included in my duties anymore, so I need to work with some other stuff. I could have I can definitely communicate it like that, because I saw this type of communication in other leadership positions. I saw people getting leadership positions after being promoted by, or supported, not promoted, but supported by their colleagues to get that position. And once they got their position, when the colleagues needed support, they would say, "Oh, sorry, that's now is not my job anymore." Or now I am, let's say, this is an example, not the one that it happened in my workplace, but let's bringing an example. Now that I am, you helped me to make all my project look so good, so now I am principal, but now that I'm principal, I cannot be your friend and go out with you because you are a teacher and I'm a principal. So there is a category of people that they can put boundaries easy as that, and they don't mind losing people. But I believe that my job is connected with people, because if people don't improve their well-being in the every institution that I work, or they don't see any results from the things, from the tools that I bring, from the methods, from the ideas that I bring there, it means that my job just failed. And I can bring the most beautiful projects, but if they are not suitable for the people that I have in there, they're never going to work. And I know during those 2 years what are the main reasons why my colleagues and my students go through a burnout, and I know what are the things that they need to change.
I'm hearing you're quite passionate about your work and about the topic as well. I see so much energy coming through the screen.
But again, I think that I need the right approach to tell to people that I cannot offer any counseling 101. I cannot offer any coaching 101, because my job is to create for the whole community. Right. There are other people that can take care of you in a 101 approach.
So
this is
as you were
part of the puzzle that misses.
I love this analogy. I love this analogy. We'll see if we can use it, this part of the puzzle thing. As you were talking, I've noticed some fears and concerns, and maybe a kind of a conflict between what you have to do according to your new job description and maybe what you value and you appreciate. So I'm just curious, what seems to be the biggest obstacle? What do we need to resolve with you tonight so that it's easier for you to find the right approach and the right words?
I think that the main challenge in the whole this discussion that we are having. The main challenge is the approach. I don't think that I tend to have only two type of approaches, one that is very, very emotional and one that is very, very strict. And I become the most lovely person or the most hated person. I just want to find this middle.
Yeah. What's making it difficult to find this golden middle, Adriana?
The fact that when you are with this image for a long time, with this image that you are only a giver, is difficult to build healthy boundaries. And is also, this part is not only communicating with words, because with words I've been trying this like 6 months to communicate it, like, please, I understand that you are my colleague and I consider you a friend as well, but when you come and sit here, can you book a time before, because I might be in the middle of a document, or I might be in the middle of typing something or doing something. With words I kind of tried it, but because maybe my body language, my behavior was not saying it as strong as my words, I will still have colleagues saying, it's okay, just 5 minutes, just I will take only 5 minutes and then I will leave, that's fine. So I believe that also the boundaries, the healthy boundaries are another challenge, because with words I think that I kind of tried it a little bit, but the healthy boundaries were not there. This is another issue, how the healthy boundaries are being built in a profession that you are supposed to lower the boundaries so you make people comfortable with you.
I am hearing an interesting thing here. May I share?
Yes.
You said it a couple of times. You said it just now. So a profession where you are supposed to lower your boundaries. And before that, you said, when you're a helper, you cannot have healthy boundaries. You're not supposed to. And it sounds to me like a kind of a rule or a belief that exists in your head. What would you say about this?
Is my own personal belief, but also is a common belief. In you are supposed to have, you need to make people comfortable and to lower their boundaries, and you to lower your boundaries in order for them to open up. And you need, when you are a helper, you need people to open up. But how to keep this balance between allow people to open up, but also not to overstep your boundaries when you have your own personal time, because as human beings we all need our personal time.
Yeah. So if you imagine, let me invite you, and if see if that resonates. I'd love to invite you to imagine this as a kind of an image, as a picture, when you are talking about other people's boundaries and your boundaries. So how do they relate to each other? What image may spring to mind when you talk about these two types of boundaries?
I would say is an image of a scale, but those old ones that they had, the both, not the digital ones, the one with two sides. The image of this scale come to me because I imagine that when someone has issues, challenges, something to talk with you, their boundaries are very high. And you need to lower yours. So they follow by example, and they also lower them and open up. So me being welcoming and having always this, my door is always open. Don't even knock if you don't feel comfortable. Just enter and talk if you feel like you want to talk. This was my strategy to make them feel comfortable. So their boundaries also will go in the same level with mine. But now that I need mine to go a little bit up, I think that they are not ready to take a step back anymore because they are used to a certain zone, to a certain comfort that if you take it from them, it might maybe make them feel that you are not supporting them anymore.
Mm.
So this image of this scale is, I think that I played wrong with my boundaries. I put them too down, and now I should have kept it somewhere in the middle. So when they will meet me here, I'm like, okay, now we are here. We are together in this level. You open up, you show me your problems now and your challenges. Now let me figure out a way to help this, not only for you, but for all the people around.
Yeah. And I see you're showing this gesture. So before you showed this, right? And now you want to kind of level up the scales to become equal. If we stay with this image, Adi, what needs to be added or be removed from either side of the scales to start getting to a more equal position?
I don't want. I'm using this word in a situation that I'm not finding a better one. But if I find a better word, I will change it. But
Sure.
what I think that is it needs to be removed is the unnecessary level of niceness from my side. Being nice is okay, but unnecessary level of niceness, and adding some level of fairness.
Okay. Tell me
Because I
more
believe
about
that
fairness. What is that about?
because that's another, now that I'm thinking, now that you made me think, I believe that I've been nice, but I haven't been fair. Because when you spend 1 hour with one person that wants to share something, you are not fair with the introverts ones, that they don't have the courage to come and share their own problems or their own challenges, because this extrovert took all your time, and there is just an amount of time daily. And by becoming beloved from like 5% of the whole people, I fail to help the rest of the 90%.
How
Because
important is fairness to you?
I would consider fairness one of the core, one of the core things of my character. But also the most difficult one to embrace. Because as much as I want to be fair, I believe that more I like to be liked. So sometimes when you are fair, you are not liked by people. And I think this is a human being behavior. We like to be liked. As much that people saying, no, I don't care about people's opinion. No, is in our DNA. It comes from the time that we were living in cages. If we will not be liked or accepted by our tribe or our cage organization think people will not survive. It's a survival instinct. Actually, to fit in is a survival instinct. As much as in 2025 we promote being unique and being very different from everything, actually fitting in is a survival instinct.
Yeah.
So it is much more stronger than being fair from time to time. But again, I want them to be here again. I don't want to be this nice and this fair. I want to be nice and fair, but meeting also those things in the middle.
That's a good point, right? That's a good point about seeing them not as black and white. Or so it's not that you're either liked or disliked, right? But being somewhere in the middle and having both of these. What can help you get there?
I think embracing fairness next semester, the next academical year that I will start, because this one in about a week is finishing. But next one, I think that what can help and can make me create in a very natural way healthy boundaries as well is gonna be if I am fair with people, if I tell them without contradicting with body language what I have to tell. Because again, my words might have been fair, but my body language was all the time, but I still want you to like me. So maybe to keep a straight line, if I want people to if I want them to understand that this is a service that I cannot handle and I cannot give it to you because I am good at giving and doing something else, I need to express that in a very fair and straight and clear way.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna create, because I don't think that boundaries can be put there. I think that boundaries need to be created slowly. The way how I try to remove boundaries from me and other people so they can open up and I can help them with their concerns. I think that also building boundaries, it needs to be brick by brick. You cannot just put a wall there. That would be wrong, and that would be not effective as well.
As I was listening to you, I noticed how confident your voice sounded and how you emphasized the word fair again and again. What are your thoughts on this? How are you feeling?
I believe is like that because I disembraced fairness for the last 2 years, and I embraced niceness more. And I miss that version of myself that would give people only what they deserve or when they deserve.
Yeah.
If I am an educator, in my main thing is that I am an educator. I might be a well-being specialist, I might be a housekeeper, but in deep down, even if they put me in a position that I need to clean houses, I know that deep down I will teach people how to clean the house better if I know how to do that better myself. So I am an educator, and if I want to give an example to the new generation, to my students, that they are teenagers and pre-teenagers, I need to show it first myself. If I keep telling to them in my daily lessons, about fairness, if I teach them about standing up, and I am not fair myself, and I don't stand up for myself, is wrong that I'm teaching them without making an example. And I realized that I've been teaching those 2 years without giving an example. I've been teaching them about boundaries, and I've been teaching them about toxic relationships and toxic friendships and toxic workplaces without giving a clear example of myself, how I keep those things away from me. And that made me think that that's why I put so much emphasis on this word, the word fairness, because I know that at this point is very necessary, especially after those last 6 months when I saw how things can crumble down if you are not fair. I think that that's actually the core thing, that I need to write it down with big capital letters and have it like a big goal of next year: balance fairness with niceness.
Yeah, I really love, looking at how you're connecting different parts of the puzzle, and you're talking about a bigger picture, the impact of your new mindset on students and leading by example. Now, this new fair Ariana, what message can she deliver to others? A fair message that still helps her maintain the trust of other people?
I would like actually to start with a message that I want to deliver to myself.
Yeah, go ahead.
So first, I need to make myself feel comfortable with the idea that once you embrace this part, you might lose some people, or you might lose some level of trust. But that doesn't show that you are doing something wrong. It shows that you handle things in not a proper way from the beginning. You are fixing. That doesn't mean that you are doing something wrong. You are fixing what was not handled properly from the beginning. So I need to prepare first myself that some people will not love you in the way that they used to love you. But that's because they didn't love you. They loved the image that you created for them because it was too comfortable. And to the other ones, if it will be the audience of my students, if the audience will be my students, which they are 11 till 18 years old, it would be balance is all we go for, not necessarily happiness, because happiness is a state that you never reach. Once you reach a certain level of happiness, you are not happy anymore. You want something bigger. So what you need to fight for is to reach a level of peace and a level of balance. I'm pretty sure that if I say it like that, for that age, they will understand. They know what I mean by peace and what I mean by balance. To my colleagues, I would say that some of them, they need to find the courage to be disliked by people, because you can actually learn a lot by being disliked by people. And to the leadership team, I would like for them to understand that there is nothing more heartbreaking for your staff when they see you being unfair to their work. That's how you actually break your staff, not by overwork, not by giving more chores, not salary wise, but by being unfair in front of them when they know that they work too hard and you give something to the other people. So the concept of balance for my student, the concept of boundaries for my colleagues, a concept of fairness for my leadership team. Those three should be separated, I believe.
So with all three new messages, how's the puzzle coming together?
Is from a puzzle, it becomes more like a chain. I would say it's like a chain, because I deal with three different age groups, age or statuses, let's say, not age group. Because it's the status of being a student, status of being a teacher, and the status of being principal. Those three need to be like a chains, because you as a teacher need to hold and to lift your students, but you as leadership need to hold and to lift your teachers. So because my job is to be a free electron for each of them, I am not part of this chain, basically, because I am not a principal, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a student. I am someone that needs to make this sure that this chain pull each other part of the chain up and not drop it down. So I would say that the puzzle comes more like a mechanism, that if it is not working in some point, it will all have some sort of problems with the whole smooth movement in the whole thing. But I see myself like this oil that you need to put in different part of the mechanism. If somewhere is stuck, I need to insert myself in order to make it work, but not to be part of the mechanism, not to put my body in that part. So when another part is struggling, then I'm not there for them. My job is to be the oil for this mechanism, not to rust, not to be another part of the engine. And as much as I want to have a place when I can see and I can see myself like part of the thing, I know that I cannot be in one place for too long, even if it's very comfortable and very pleasant for me. I rather sit there and talk to 5 different people every day than being everywhere and not being seen at all.
That sounds like a powerful image that you got. As we are getting to the end of our conversation, I just want to check in with you to see if you've gotten the clarity that you wanted around the message that you want to communicate, or the approach, or the way.
I do have the clarity now. I know that I need to move from me to we, and I know that I need to move from this is me nice into this is me nice but also fair, into all over balanced way.
That sounds like a powerful learning. What was your key takeaway?
That is not about creating a very complicated strategy, because in my mind at the beginning it was, now we're going to discuss about different communication strategies, how to approach, how your tone should be, how your body language should be, how this and that and that. It doesn't require a whole strategy. It requires a little bit of clarity, a little bit of having someone else showing some blind spot that I was consciously or unconsciously hiding it from myself. Because I think I don't like to call myself unfair, but you lead it in a way that I caught myself out of guard and I called myself unfair because I saw that at some point, the way how the conversation was going, this come from me being unfair and being also a bit self-centered because I wanted to be liked. So from this self-centered, need to make it more generalized, and it's not complicated once you see those blind spots. They're not pleasant.
I'm happy to hear your optimism about this. And
They're
I'm
not
glad
pleasant, I
to
can tell
hear that
you. It's not pleasant, but
I'm glad to see you learn something new about both yourself and the situation. Now, how will you act on the learning?
first, I need to write all those blind points down. Now that once we finish finish our conversation, because those are points of start points for me to change my approach. So from that very bubbly character, but with no depth, I want to change my approach and my approach actually into a more helpful and fair fair way. So I guess I should start from being fair. I should start by telling to myself that I need not to contradict my words with my body language. And if it's fair to say, please leave my classroom because now I need to give attention to something that is more major, even if I know that someone will get upset, I have to do it. But I have to stay to this kind of talk and not to change it on the way. It makes people more confused, and myself as well more confused.
Well, I'm hearing you want to sit down and take some notes after our call. Will that be the first step?
Yes, I will go. First step is taking some notes. Second step is creating a plan in my head. How am I going to handle those challenging spots that they came from this conversation, one by one? I cannot handle those all together, but one by one, starting by changing rearranging my office and my classroom. Because if you want to have a table that is constantly in front of an open window, you will always have people say hi and enter to you. It needs
For
to be
sure.
in a corner that they don't see you.
I'm sure
And
that's
put
going to
something
happen.
on the door when it says come in, and turn it around when you are busy. If it's something urgent, please knock.
You need any accountability for that? How do you want to hold yourself accountable for these action steps?
I will just keep myself. I would say that for every reaction or everything that happened from this point, from those steps, is my own personal responsibility to handle it and to go with it, not putting responsibility in any other people. So
Right.
I keep myself accountable for this one.
Beautiful. No, that's great. Is there any other support that you need to seek to make this change successful?
I would probably ask support from other leadership team members by ensuring that this is the policy and make policies more loud and visible. But when it comes to behavior, the responsibility is mine. I cannot ask from other leadership to help me how to be more fair. But
Apparently.
they can make the rules more clear. So this person is for this job, and you cannot bother for other things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Noted.
another part that I stopped the leadership team by doing, because I keep telling to them, if you put it there, it will make them feel like they don't have the right to talk to me. But now I see that they were trying to do that for my own best, to give me the space to work on other stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's great to see that you have some support. And I actually want to acknowledge you today for being so creative and identifying those barriers, connecting with your values and achieving the balance that you are seeking. It was exciting to see the process, to be part of your process tonight.
It was very helpful to be leaded there, because if it will be a narrative with my own self, I will end up saying, but I am nice and everybody loves me, so I can sacrifice myself. That's what you do when you are a helper. Which is the narrative that I keep telling to myself for 2 years in a row. And it was very helpful from your side, because without being any pushy, and because without being there to try and make the conversation go in a way that you want, maybe you did it, but it didn't felt like you were
No,
trying
no,
to
I had no
get somewhere.
intentions for you. No, I
It did
really was
it did
excited to
it did
see
felt like
how you gonna make it.
So it was very helpful to be leaded in this way, because now I know what's my next step, and I know that is something that I want to do it, and I know how to do it now. It's very clear for me, but I would not reach this clarity if I would had a talk with myself.
Oh, beautiful. I'm excited for you. Is there anything else you need to say or do before we wrap up tonight?
No, I think I already got into everything that I needed.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your time tonight. It was a pleasure to have this conversation.
Thank you as well, Luba.